Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, YouTube, everywhere this is going to be showed it up at. Woo, what a whirlwind of a few days so far. I'm a little sore, a little tired. Uh, I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions. We talk comic books, we talk artwork, we talk movies, we talk real life because we have a homestead. So, not only do I do artwork, I raise chickens and ducks and goats and all that good stuff. And I'm going to adjust this microphone. I just never feel like it hears me, but everybody out there seems to think, yeah, it hears you. It hears you all right. That's why we leave. Oh, man. Out climbing a tree yesterday. Not for fun, not for enjoyment. Had to cut some big limbs off from this tree that were over some power lines. And, you don't have a cherry picker. You don't have all that good stuff. You just climb the damn tree and you start sawing off limbs. Actually, we started on the ground with the pole saw and got the smaller limbs that are over the power lines and things like that cut off. And then we had this one massive, huge one. And yes, there is no video, so there is no proof. In a world of video and proof, we don't have any this time. But no, we just didn't set up a camera and all that stuff like a lot of people do whenever they're doing stuff like that. But it turned out well. The tree fell where I wanted it to, not on the power lines. So no OG&E had to be called, which is our electric service here in Arkansas. I almost said Oklahoma because that's where I've been most of my life, except for the past what 15 years now. I've been in Arkansas, and I still feel like I'm in Oklahoma because the weather is almost the same. Oh man, but yeah, that was a good undertaking and a good task for our chainsaws and the pole saw. So, my shoulders got a good workout, my arms got a good workout, my lower back and side got a good workout, and all of that goody good stuff. But yeah, no, it was great. It's good exercise. Keeps you fit, keeps you toned, if you will. How are y'all doing out there? Again, I'm Monty Anderson with 412 Productions. Welcome to the show. And it's just one of those days that I'm waiting for that drop. This is Antarctic Press Day. They send me a book to do a review on, to give an honest opinion and feel for, and I try to do that as best as possible because I do not like everything that they produce. I do not like, certain aspects of how the artwork looks or how the coloring goes or, those type of different things. How the dialogue goes in the book. And so, we try to give an honest 100% review of what they send us. And from there, we just, we make it the best. And they keep sending me stuff, so apparently they like what I'm putting out. And I get a lot of viewers on my YouTube for the Antarctic Press stuff because that's where I send my link to Ben Dunn, one of the creators of Antarctic Press, that has been around for 40 years, 1985. Who has been around since 1985? Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. I've been around since 1985. Much longer than that, actually. I think I was 14 years old at that point. So, but yeah, the drop happens today at some point in time. It's generally around noonish whenever the drop happens for the PDF that I get in my email, and it's just a cool thing to collaborate with a big company like that because a company that's been around for 40 years. Can you imagine being in a company for 40 years, especially starting out in a garage somewhere? I mean, in reality, and your comic books have made it this far. I mean, 40 years of comics. There's a lot of comic companies that can't even say that um, out there. And please like, share, and follow my feed and my socials, which you can go right up here. Bing, bing, bing. And follow all of my socials from Facebook to Instagram to YouTube to, of course, you're already here for TikTok land. And up here for Facebook and YouTube. We are live in two different spots right now. We are live on Facebook and we are live on TikTok. Now, later, this video is getting recorded and it will be dropped on all of my Facebook pages, my personal page and my business page. And then from there, it will also be dropped on my YouTube channel. And then some clips will be dropped on my Instagram from this show. So, there you go. So, right now on my art desk, I've got 4 pieces of artwork, 4 paintings to get done. I've got 2 that have got relatively quick timelines. That's my chaos and my anger paintings for a mental health awareness show. And that's happening here in Fort Smith. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make it. I'll be out of town for that show. But I'm still contributing artwork to the show. So first up, we've got Anger. This is my rough on it. And hopefully it will, damn it, come on. That's about as, I hate the green screen, to be honest. Because it will never do what I fucking want it to do. But I can show you guys up here. This is the start of Anger. These are going to be one solid color. Come on. You're almost there. You're almost there. These are going to be one solid color. And thank you for the likes. I appreciate you. That's just Anger right there. Once I start getting some color on these, it'll show better on screen. And then here is Chaos. You see all that wildness going out of the head. Maybe, if I can keep it where it is right there. Dun, dun, dun. Appreciate the likes. Love you guys. And apparently, this is a good cause, and not apparently, but it is a good cause to, if you're in the Fort Smith area, to go out and check it out. Much appreciated. Jays for the likes and the love over there. But Chelsea Johnson is the mastermind behind this. She is a military veteran like myself, and she is still in, and she is also a police officer here, and she does these pageants, and you can find her. She's won a couple of awards in her pageantry, and she's just a great person all the way around. I've known her for quite a while. I guess since about 2015, 2016, somewhere in that range. Because I used to deal with her a lot since she was one of my peeps that came up to take shoplifters out of the store. For the company I used to work for. And don't ever work for Walmart. Just saying. If you can avoid Walmart, do it. I hate walking back into Walmart after knowing what kind of bigotry they hold, and their ethics sucks 100%. Because their ethics cases turn into all he said, she said situations. Never anybody gets fired for what does happen there on a regular basis. So, with that being said, I'm looking at my stuff. I'm looking at everything I can kind of show and what I can't show. But we are going to be talking about March Madness is in the air. Hopefully your team is doing well in the basketball tournament. Arkansas apparently beat the Jayhawks last night. So the Hogs beat some birds. And I know if Roy was here, he'd be talking about that shit all over my timeline here. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. He is a good dude, but he loves his hogs. And I'm in Arkansas. I don't like the hogs. It's just me. I'm not a hogs fan. Never have been. So, but we'll see. He wants to do a little wager of some food of you know if he wins that I cook some food for myself, the girlfriend, and then him, and then if I win, then he takes us out to dinner. So because he doesn't cook, so that's his way of saying here's my home cooking. So it's all good. I don't bet for money or anything like that. And so food is easy. I like to cook, and I can cook up a mean anything. You want it blackened? Perfect. No, I'm kidding. No, no. If it is a Cajun dish or something that calls for blackened, like salmon or a blackened chicken or anything like that, yeah, we'll do that blackened seasoning on it and go from there. But I like to grill out. I've got a whole grill station here at my house, and I'm looking forward to. I mean, I've already grilled out on it a few times already, and I like to do it almost year round. But when it gets bitterly cold, I don't like to stand around out there with it, So I'm heading out, man. I just wanted to help with some likes. Have a great night, and God bless. Well, you too, Jay. I appreciate you, man. I really do. I really do appreciate all the love and likes that you're heading, and please share it before you take off. That way, your friends can come over here and check it out. So we've got the super secret, top secret cover that I cannot reveal. Now, the person I'm working on with it, he's going to be dropping little snippets here and there on his page for the cover before the full reveal on it. It already looks cool. I can't tell you much about what book it's for or what company it's for, but it's already looking killer, and I'm enjoying the process of it so far. There's a lot of elements happening on this cover, probably the most elements I've ever put in a comic book cover to date, other than the Psycho Sal from William Russell, that was number three for his comic book. And there's a ton of elements going on in there. As far as you're in a voodoo shop, so there's a ton of. I'm looking at it right here on my right. You guys can't see it. You guys can't see it because it's up on my wall. And there's just a ton of elements going on inside the voodoo shop with books and herbs and crystals and chicken's feet and all kinds of stuff happening on this cover. And so that one probably is my busiest cover, but this one has a lot more elements to it. Um, and I really wish I could tell you what's going on in the book, but or on this cover, but I can tell you that there's a lot of action happening on this cover. And then the other one I can't really talk about, but I can tell you who it's for. Mr. Ken Kang, another friend of mine, wanted a painting for his wall, so I went ahead and made them up something. Now they sent me in some reference pictures and stuff like that, which I used, and so that one's gonna be fun. It's a fun little lovey-dove piece, if you will, and so those are fun pieces to do. Um, what do we want to talk about today? Because I don't have my drop for my Antarctic Press comics yet. They will drop today, and I will talk about it on Sunday. That will be my next show because today is the 21st. I always go odd days, so the 23rd will be my next show. And anybody say anything other than Jay as he was walking out the door? Jay's capping. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking through here, folks. For you guys up here on Facebook, I'm looking through to see if anybody has said anything else. and they have not that I'm seeing anyway. Go away. All right. So, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Monty Anderson, your host at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson, because I am an artiste, and that not only includes physical artwork, paintings, uh, hand drawn items, and things of that nature, but it also includes my acting side, which I am an actor and now a voice actor. Now, speaking of voice acting, I have to go back on the script and redo some of my voiceovers that I've already done, just because he changed up the script on me, and I had to look at the script. Uh, I had to reread the script, and it was like, that's not what I said before. So I've got to go back in and redo some voiceovers for this before they start filming the series, and I'm looking forward to it because hopefully I get to play a couple more characters when it's all said and done, and that's the fun thing about voice acting. You can do many different voices, many different ways, and you can always come up with something different. And then you just got to remember what voice you did for which character, and not mix the two or the three or whatever. Because I know there's a lot of voice actors out there that stick to one character for their entire career, and then there's other ones that have like 15 different characters under their belt that they portray through their career, and then those are the people that get brought to um, different shows, comic book conventions, and things like that as guests. And so what that means is that the comic show pays for all of their stuff, you know. And it's just like, well, I want to be in that segment. I want to be in that guest range. That hi out there, free TikTok. This is free TikTok. But anyway, um, the the whole aspect is, I want to make a name for myself. I don't want to get huge, big and famous and all that stuff. I mean, yes, the money would be nice and all that stuff because it would alleviate a lot of problems. And to have sponsors would be great as well, um, that back you and send you to different places, such as different comic book conventions, and they pay for all your stuff, your hotel room, and uh, your booth price, which can be pricey. It can be upwards of over $1,000 for a booth spot at a comic book convention, depending on which one you're at and all that good stuff. And those are the things that you want in the back burner, because if I had sponsors, they would be on all of my stuff. I would have, my logo plus their logo and all that good stuff. Just like up here, I would on Facebook and YouTube, when the recording drops over there, I would have their logos plastered all over my page, my section here. Just like I've got all my artwork and my logos and stuff like that, and then my prevention number, which is right above my head on the YouTube and Facebook channels. So I'm always looking for a sponsor or sponsors that want to, help compensate some of that stuff. And then you guys would get a little compensation as well from the sponsorship. So always looking for some sponsorship. And just like many other people out there, other artists and stuff like that that have their sponsorships and get taken care of whenever they go to shows and things of that nature. And I'm not doing any shows this year. I was debating one in June, here, very, very close. The prices are nice, um, but then it's also like, well, I'm not completely 100% ready for shows yet, just because I'm revamping everything. 412 Productions is new to this year as of January 1st. And um, not saying that I'm new to the art biz, but I've been doing art for a long, long time. And I had a different company prior to this name change, and whole different feel change all the way around. And so, with all that, I am redoing everything. as far as how I handle my prints, how I handle my stuff that I present to you, the community of fans and collectors of art. Um, so I'm going to be creating canvas prints off of certain prints, off of certain artworks that I've done, and then the rest will be 11 by 17 prints. Now, with that being said, I'm going to pick and choose which ones I bring to the world now, and because before I used to do everything, every piece of artwork that I would create a print from, and then by the end of the year, you look back and it's just like, well, this one never sold, this one never sold, this one didn't sell, even though you've got this huge, massive board behind you that's got every one of your art pieces in it. Well, I did get scratched up pretty good yesterday. Um, and you've got all your artwork hanging behind you, and people see it all and they love it, but they gravitate towards their favorites, and then from there, you there's a lot that don't get picked, and it's like, well, why didn't you pick that one? You liked it, you loved it, you oohed and awed over it, but yet you went with this piece or this piece. Why did you avoid that piece? Because at the end, I was given great deals on my prints, and to say, will I do that again? Yeah, of course I'll do bundle options on my prints and things like that, and of course the originals are always better than the prints, but a lot of people don't want to shell out the price of an original, and so it's you will get those people that will shell out the bucks, because there was one show last year at the beginning of the show in Jonesboro. Thanks, Brandon Jones. Um, for that show, it was his all things nerdy show, basically. Um, that's not what it was called, but here, see, I can't remember what it's called now. But anyway, I sold 5 different originals on that day, so that was one of my best shows ever, to sell 5 originals to one person. So that was 5 originals to one person. I think I sold another couple of originals before the show was over. So 7 total originals at that show. And so that was pretty awesome. And thank you for the likes. And I appreciate you. And so it's always fun just to see what's going to happen um, at the different shows that you go to. And but you always are listening. You're always watching to see what other people are selling, to hear what other people are interested in purchasing, and that's even the people that stop at your own booth. Because I had several people. Do you have a bishop? Do you have a gambit? Do you have a beast? Do you have this? Do you have that? And it's like, no, but by the time I see you at the next show, I will definitely have that ready. And then you come around and you get to that section, and it's like, boom, they see it, they love it, but they don't buy it. And it's just like, well, you're the one that suggested it, because they're like, oh man, I love that piece, because they suggested it to you at another show, and you get to it, and then they see it, and they're like, oh, that's awesome, man, that's beautiful work, and it's like, well, you're the one that asked for it at the last show that we were at together, and now you're just gonna ooh and all over it, and that's it. Because at the last show you said, man, if you had any of that type of artwork, I'd buy it. Well, what happened? Well, where did that? Thank you, Phil, for the likes. I appreciate that. So why aren't you buying it now? Makes no sense. Those type of things. Those type of situations happen on a regular basis, and it's not just to me. It's to a lot of artists out there, um, because I am in an artist community for the most part on my Facebook, and I follow a lot of different artists all over the place. And they're mainstream artists. They're people that are in the industry. I'm not in the industry. I am just an independent artist. Well, everybody's an independent artist, but I don't work for any of the major companies like Marvel or DC or Image Comics or anything like that. But I do follow and friends with several people that are in that category. Al Garza, Joseph Michael Linsner, Dan Fraga, Marat Michaels. The list goes on and on of people that are friends now on Facebook, which that's unheard of just several years ago. Eric uh, Ebass, everybody knows his work um, from Zenscope and all of his sexy women that he draws up on a regular basis. J. Scott Campbell, friends with him on Facebook. Um, all these people that I'm friends with, and I do get interaction from them. So, I just like I asked a question the other day, why whenever you tell someone your price of your artwork, do they go running and disappear? Now, there were some people that thought I was talking about them, but that was not the case. It was just a general question at a bad time, you know. And but it's happened more times than not uh, that you tell someone their price and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. And but then after they've left you, you see them walk by with a $300 sword from a booth two doors down, you know. And it's just like you couldn't pick up a say $150 piece, but yet you spent $300 on a sword, and you're saying you don't have the money for that, or you can't do that. And it's just like, well, obviously you came here for one purpose and one purpose only, to buy that sword, or to hopefully find that sword that you were looking for from a vendor. And so don't say to an artist that, oh, I can't do that, and then walk by with a $300 piece of swordage or whatever, or walk by 5 minutes later with somebody else's artwork. You know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And my artwork isn't for everybody. You know, uh, and I know that because my artwork borderline is borderline dark, brooding, and but I also do the cheerful, happy stuff too. Um, I do remarks on art on boxes, like a lot of other artists do. And if you don't know what a remark is, let me show you. This is what's called a remark. This is a mainstream action figure, the Demon, Etrigon the Demon, right there. You can see his name, maybe the Demon right there. And then boom, right here. This is the piece that I put on here. I drew this on here, and is with paint markers. And so that is what's called a remark. You put a piece of artwork on top of a packaging or a comic book and remark it with a piece of artwork. That's why it's called a remark. And so this is up for grabs. If you're interested in the Demon, just let me know. Hit me up because this is a cool piece. I like it. I thought about keeping it for myself, but it's like, no, I can always do something for myself if I want it. This is the fourth remark that I've done. I did a ghost face uh, on a pop figure for another guy who sold it after getting two autographs on it. Um, I don't know which two autographs he got on it, but anyway, he ended up selling it for X amount of money. I got my commission off of it, and he got his commission off of it. And I'm hoping that we work together again because I missed a connection with him up in Jonesboro when I was there for the end of the year show for the Bonesy Jonesy, um, dang it, comic book collectible uh, spot. And then I'll show you that I've got two more, but the other one's in another spot at the house. This is my Little Mermaid Ursula remark right here. And as you can see, she's up for grabs as well. So if you're interested in her, hit me up. But again, this is a piece of one-to-one piece that I put on the BAM exclusive, the Books a Million exclusive. She does have this sparkle and shine on her. They call it the diamond. Uh, the diamond collection, which they just dust it and glitter is all they really do. Now, if they used real diamonds on it, that'd be cool, but they don't. But this is my Ursula remark on the box, so you have that opportunity to pick her up as well. Bum, bum, bum. But I also have a Venom as well, and then of course the Ghost Face, which has already been sold by the other guy, Caleb, out there. Friends with him out there as well. And it's always exciting to get a pop or an action figure or a comic book and even your own artwork, because you can do remarks on your own prints. See that a lot. And it's always fun just to create something exciting on a piece, because those I take my time with. I don't just rush them like I see a lot of people do at shows, and still charge an arm and a leg for them. I'd like to take my time and give you what you really want. So I will ship that to you from the show. Now, if you're specifically wanting it that day or whatever, then I will go ahead and take care of it that day. But I do like to take my time and give you something that you really really want instead of something really really rushed, if that makes sense. So at a show, I do have my different pricings for the commission prices at the show, as opposed to what I would charge if I was sitting here at my desk doing it. Just because it is two totally different situations. One is super fast for the most part, and then the other one is more time involved, and it is a lot more detail and things like that. So, as the adage says, you get what you pay for. And but I do still do quality work for the people that buy at the shows as well. And you can go through my feeds and check them out, the different things that I've created for many different people. And so there you have that. With all of that, we're getting some spring showers and stuff like that. Uh, Getting ready for the Mayflowers, if you've ever heard that adage: spring showers bring Mayflowers. Um, and so we're getting a lot of good storms. We had about 30-mile-an-hour winds just the other day. Uh, Knocked down some branches and things like that that we're still cleaning up out of the yard. That was why I went ahead and cut that tree off over the power lines yesterday. Um, Very sketchy situation. We had we did a redneck ingenuity on a chainsaw, my girlfriend's little bitty chainsaw, her 12 incher, and we we had it ratchet strapped to a smaller um, cedar pole that we had out in the yard, and we had it ratchet strapped to that, and then we had a rope tied to the trigger to make it go faster. And so this is why we should have filmed some of this stuff, because at one point in time the the chainsaw vibrated off and fell backwards, but it was still connected by the bottom one, luckily. And when it did fall, it cut the ratchet strap in half, and on the top one. And so, as it's falling, you're looking at it, and it's like, oh shit, this could land on me, and it's still running. So, no, it was all fun and stuff like that. But we did chop off two branches with the homemade pole saw, and which you want a professional pole saw. You don't want what we did. So do not try this at home, folks. But it would have been funny had we had video footage of it and all that good stuff. Uh, but yeah, no, we had a good time. Up in the tree and off the truck and stuff like that. Just cutting the branches off until we could get it to a point where we could fell the whole thing, that needed to come down, because there was two big old dead pieces on it. There's still another dead piece up in the tree that I'm I got to sharpen my chain again. She didn't like the way I sharpened mine because it, it's not cutting like butter, but it's very 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 close to cutting like butter. I just didn't. I did a quick job with it, and it's when you do a quick job, you get what you get. Now I've got to order some more blades anyway, some more chains for my chainsaw. Um, but that's neither here nor there. And so, yeah, I'm just looking forward to all this new artwork that's happening. The awareness program, like I showed you at the beginning of the show, which is my anger and my chaos pieces. And then these two pieces I'm looking forward to. I'll probably get started painting on those today, if I had to guess, and go from there. Just because all of this is the fun stuff. It is you want to do stuff for yourself, and I rarely have any of my own artwork here at the house. I mean, I do have pieces that I don't want to put on the ground, so I have them hanging on my walls. Um, but I'm ready for them to go to a new home. I'm ready for them to go to your home, because there's still some people out there that said they would already buy, but they haven't purchased them yet. I've got an Art the Clown piece, a little desktop piece or a shelf piece that looks awesome, uh, and it was supposed to already be gone, but uh, they haven't purchased it yet. I was supposed to have two other pieces that were supposed to be gone: my Chester Bennington piece, and then one of my Bad Nun series pieces, and I still own both of them. Uh, and so you always get people that are saying, "Oh yeah, I'll do this. Oh yeah, I'll do that," but then they never follow through with it. And it's sad that they don't follow through. Um, but I get it too. Life is hard, and I got sawdust in my eyes still from last night. Yes, I've cleaned up and all that good stuff, but you can feel it in there. Um, Life happens, but just be like, I do layaway. If you want it, I do layaway. So you won't get it until the piece is completely paid for. But life does happen. I appreciate each and everybody joining right now. It is bright and early here in Central America at 4:47 a.m. and and so I appreciate you being here with me this bright and early. I'm usually up by this point in time already. Um, it's very rare that I get to sleep in. Just my PTSD and all that stuff keeps me awake at night sometimes, and it's very interesting sleep pattern because there was one night I only got like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours worth of sleep, but was back up and couldn't go back to sleep. So I was up for the day. That was one of my live shows as well. That would have been the 19th. That would have been Wednesday. Then I had that live show, and I was super tired on that show. Um, but I was already up, so I was in here. So I think my show went a little earlier than normal, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Um, I never get a full 8 hours worth of sleep. Uh, I'm lucky if I get five, you know. So, but according to the military, that's all you need. Well, I'm not in the military anymore. I did my time. Um, I should have done my time earlier than I did, but that's how it goes sometimes. But I'm looking forward to all this new stuff that's happening this year. Again, no conventions um, and things like that. So it's just like, well, what are you going to do with all that time? Well, I'm going to be working on stuff here at the house, working on new artworks for the 2026 season. I'm going to be working on, you know, uh, redoing a chicken coop uh, because I've got in just a few days. Today is the Friday the 21st. So in just 3 days, the 24th on Monday, I get a big old roll off dumpster dumped in my yard that I get to keep for a week. And I get to fill it up with all the shit that was left here for me prior to the other owners having it. And so um, they left me a ton of junk here, and not only that, but they threw a bunch of junk over the back fence that I'm expanding my property out because I found out that I have more property than I thought we did, and so now I've got to deal with all that trash that they threw over the fence back there, and then at that point in time, it's like this sucks. But luckily, my neighbor, his dad has a front end loader, and he's going to get that this weekend, and we are going to be using it like crazy. We're going to be basically going ahead and start pulling a bunch of stuff out of there until the dumpster arrives on Monday, and then Monday we're going to start filling it up. And so, well, thank you guys for being here with me. We are not done yet. And Hugh, that's very cool. You go on with your bad self with that. Thank you for the likes and appreciate it. So we've got the voice acting gig. Like I said, I've got to redo that. Redo some of my voiceovers that I've already recorded, just because he changed the script on me. Thank you, JP Smalls, for that. Nah, he's a good dude. He brought me on board for his Power Ranger project, and I am the voice of Champ, one of the bad guys in series one of his season. And so, episode one, I'm in as a voiceover, and hopefully, I can get some more um, voice actor work from him for the same series, just using a different voice than what I've used before for his Champ character. And it's fun to do that because you're still acting, and I've acted in a few movies already, and it's just like you you want to have a diverse catalog of voices, and you do, and a lot of us do, and it's like you can pull this one out, you can pull that one out, and how can I incorporate that into a voiceover? How can I, those type things, and so it's kind of a Brooklyny accent that I use for Champ, and it's just like, hopefully he's enjoying them. Hopefully he's enjoying all the voiceovers that I sent, because I sent two of each because I did it with different inflectuations and different things like that. So you always want to try and change up a little bit, whenever you do multiple recordings of the same lines. So hopefully he's enjoying it, and hopefully he will use me again for some of his other characters out there. Brisk, you should be my sponsor. Just with their fruit punch and their lemonade only. That's it. I don't like their iced tea. I'm not a tea drinker. So this is their juice drink and their lemonade. So there you go. But I also do the V8 energy drink, which is natural energy. It's not all the chemicals and shit they put in it like they do in Monster and Red Bull and Bang and Ghost. And the list goes on and on. You know, even though they've got the zero sugar in their Monster, it's still got a bunch of bad chemicals for you in it. But I know a lot of people love the drinks, and it gives them that boost of energy, and then that letdown later on. Go with the natural energy, folks. Go with natural energy. Get you some fruits, some vegetables, those type things, and eat them in the mornings. Um, we were watching a documentary on weightlifters, basically, that want to get so big that they use all these different chemicals in their bodies and different products that target certain areas of the body, and it's just like that's pretty gross. Bigorexia is what it's called. They don't think they're big enough, but yet they're 300 plus pounds of mass, and it's all muscle. But they still feel small. And it's just like, dude, your chest is bigger than a Volkswagen Bug. How much bigger can you fucking get? You know, and it's just like, man, if you haven't seen it, I think it's on HBO Max. or Max now. It's not HBO anymore. I think that's where we were watching it. We didn't finish it. We had some chores to take care of, so with the animals, get them settled for the night and things of that nature. So, um, but yeah, no, it's the different things people do to their bodies just to work out and make themselves bigger. Then they have to have these massive surgeries to take out scar tissue and different things like that. And it's just like, wow. Uh, Much appreciated for all of you stopping in, checking out the show. We talk about everything here, from comic books to movies to documentaries now, um, to my artwork to artwork that I'm doing for other people. Um, Comic books, which I've got a huge stack of comic books to my right over here. You guys can't see it on TikTok because of the green screen, but them on YouTube and Facebook can see it right here next to me. There's probably over 5,000 comics here, and probably getting closer to seven if I had to guess. Because I've got boxes that aren't even in this room, that are in a different closet because those are the ones I deal with the most. So that's my biggest collection of my Uncanny X-Men collection. Favoriteest comic book in the whole wide world. Even above a bunch of other stuff like, Chaos Comics with Lady Death and Evil Ernie and things of that nature. The Crow with James LeVar's The Crow, which Lady Death isn't under Chaos Comics anymore. She is under Coffin Comics with Brian Peludo still, and his team that he's got of all different artists that he's taking care of now. And it's comic books are fun. They're a way to. It's just like people that read books on a regular basis. That's your escape. That's your way of getting out of reality of paying bills or being an adult. And if anything were to ever happen to my comic book collection right now, I would probably be done with comics completely. Just because the price of comics has gotten way too high. They're way so expensive now. Because I was looking at one comic book and it's like $7 a comic, and it's just like you've got to freaking be kidding me. This better have some gold pages or something in it because $7 for a comic book, that's a little pricey. And if you're buying like multiples of that cover, or 5 or 6 to 10, different comic books that are that price. Just say you bought 10 at $7 a piece. That's $100 or $700 right there. You know, and well, I guess that would be, yeah. And it's just like it's I just don't understand that why the prices are that high on a comic book anymore. And it's just like, why? I know it's not $700; it's $70, but still, you got to look at it like, why are you pricing your comic book so freaking high that people are going to look at it and be like, oh wow, that's nice, but I'm not spending $7 8 for a comic book. Uh, and it's just like, I can understand if it's an older comic book that has been around for a while, but a brand new comic book, I mean, $3 tops. $2.99 or whatever. But anymore it's $5 here, $8 here. I've even seen some that are selling at like $15 for one comic book, and that's brand new off the shelf, because that's their little price sticker on it, in their UPC. And it's just like, why are you charging so much for a 28-page comic book? You know, I mean, even back in the day, you want to get back in the day, 5 cent comics, 10 cent comics, 12 cents, and then on up 35 cents, 40 cents, all the way up to when I truly started collecting when they were 75 cents a comic. back in the 80s, and then they jumped up to $1.25, and everybody thought that was a huge price increase because it was, especially when you're a kid and you're buying comics and you were getting them for 50 cents, 75 cents, and then they jumped to $1, and then they jumped to $1.25, and then $1.50, and then it just kept going up from there because people kept buying them at that price, and and so now even a comic book from Marvel is three $3.99, you know, and that's still the low end to some of the stuff that they sell. Now, some independence is where I'm talking about. You're getting the $8 price tag or the $15 price tag on a comic book, and it's just like how are you justifying being an independent comic company and you're charging $15 a comic book? It just makes no sense to me. It baffles my mind, and especially if you have multiple covers, like some people do that have, you know, 8 to 10 covers per comic book. And if you're collecting all of those comic books, say you buy 10 comic books, you know, that has a $7 or $8 price on it, you just blew your budget for anything else you're gonna buy. And it's just I can't justify that. When mine comes out, I've got to see what my printing costs are going to be, what my artist fees are going to be to other people, those type things. But I there's going to be 4 covers to my book, to my comic book when it comes out per book, so there'll be 16 total covers, and one of those will be mine, and then the other 3 will be other artists. I'm not going to reuse the same artist on the series, uh, like I see a lot of people do, and I get why they do it. They're chasing the money, they're chasing the cash, because those people are influential out there and do a lot of things with different shows and different things like that. But that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it to spotlight other artists. Number one, I am doing it so that I don't have the same repeats, or different or same styles on my covers, because you've seen one artist, you've seen their work. Yeah, it's great, it's cool, but do you want to see it again on another issue? No, I don't. I'd rather see somebody new, somebody fresh. Um, so I've already got a list started of who I want to use, who I want to work with, and so I've got to come up with 16 minus 4, which is how many? So I've got to find 12 artists out there, and that's what I've already got probably a list of 6 that I want to work with right now, and so with that, I just got to come up with the other ones, the other 6, and it's just always fun to open up your feed on Facebook and be like, I like your work, I'm gonna get in contact with you. I like your work, I'm gonna get in contact with you. And I've already got in contact with a couple of people that I want to work with, and so it's gonna be fun and exciting, um, to do this and to make it happen, to make it a reality. Knowing that I'm only in book 1, and here we are, almost 4 months into the season, the new year, and I'm only 18 pages in, and I haven't decided if I'm doing 22, 24, 26 pages per book yet. Um, so I'm at 18 pages in on book 1, and I've got 3 other books to write, and so it's just like, well, when am I going to get this project done? And it boils down to, who knows? Who cares? It's my project. Um, the things that take me away from my own project are the commissions that come in, or the working on a new comic book cover that I can't show you right now because it's for another company, and they want me to keep it quiet, until, because they want to reveal little pieces here and there of this comic book to get people interested. And if it does well on the PDF side, which is the online side of the comic book, then it's going to be turned into a physical copy on the book. So this will be a variant cover to his issue number 3. Again, another third issue, issue number 3. This will be my second professional cover on a comic book. So, I think it's going to be more fun and more enjoyable than the first one that I did, and which was what, 2 years ago now, maybe almost 3 years ago now. I'm trying to see what that says up there. I can't read it right now. Yeah, no, I can't read it. My eyes are that bad. No, it's just small up there, and I'm a little bit too far away. I'm not gonna reach up there and grab it. DJ Hall says nice, and so I appreciate you, man. I do. I appreciate the camaraderie. But so once it's all said and done, I'm gonna have my 4 miniseries comic of this unnamed title, because I'm not giving out any information on it right now, other than think cryptids, think mythological creatures, think warlocks, witches, different aspects of that realm, but in a modern day setting. And from there, I am going to do a graphic novel. So inside that graphic novel, not only are you going to have all the covers combined, all 4 covers per book in the graphic novel, you're also going to have a pinup section of the different characters. And so, will I use some of the same artists that were on the cover? Of course I will. Thank you. I was so wondering when that was going to show up. I appreciate you, TikTok, with the puzzle piece that I've got to drag across the screen. Um, but I do look forward to having, some of the same artists do pinups for inside of the graphic novel. And, again, I'll be looking for sponsorships. I'll be looking for all that good stuff. I'm going to be doing, um, it's either going to be Kickstarter or crowdfunding, or, one of the other methods of pushing this to the public. And it's just easier to source it that way, just because then that gives you, the fan, the chance to get what you really want off of the covers, or to get the entire cover collection, which won't be $100, like I see a lot of people do with all of their covers. And it, and then I've got to pick a price point of what these books are going to sell for in stores as well. So there's still a lot of work that's going into all of this comic creation. But I look forward to it because, like I said, right here in this one comic box right here, I'm always looking at, I think it's Caw or Craw or something like that. But it's a Hawkman esque character. And this guy has a ton of sponsors. And he uh, has got his comic book out there. And it's very cool. Um, he was the writer. I don't know if he was the penciler or the artist for it or not, but I've got all of his copies here that he did, and so that's the exciting thing. Now he did one cover, which is what I mean. I thought about doing that just because, but then it's like, no, I want to showcase some other people's artwork, and since it's a 4 issue miniseries, doing 4 covers per book, 16 covers total, that's doable. Because you can keep that price down on whenever you sell it as a whole group. Um, and it's like, well, what are you gonna do with it all? Well, first I got to get it written. and then I got to get it illustrated, and then I've got to ink it, and then I've got to find a printer, so on and so forth. I mean, the list goes on and on of the stuff that I've got to do, and I'm hoping to get some sponsors in the meantime, because that would be super cool, to find some sponsors that want to help with the book, and want to have their name associated with it. I'm getting closer, to getting some things in fruition, into reality. I'm gonna Once I get these four cleared off my desk, I'm probably gonna start working on one of my own covers, for book one, um, and it is going to be a big painting, and it's going to be cool, or at least in my opinion, it's going to be cool. But it's just like this piece over here that I'm working on for the top secret comic book cover. Um, I'm hoping it translates the way I see it in my mind. I mean, it's already coming together the way I see it in my mind. But then once I get to the paint side of it, I'm hoping it really pops off the screen, in the way I want it to. Because I've looked at all of his covers that he's used so far, and it's like they're great. They're awesome covers that he's got, but they're just not painted. They're all just your typical comic book cover with the whole Photoshop overlays on top of each other, or the whatever some of the other programs are that people use now in the comic industry to do colors and things like that. And like I said, they're very cool. They're very awesome, and he does a great job. It's just that I want something different, and that's how I present my artwork, is as something completely different. And I don't want it to be looking like somebody else's work, because it's my work, and that's why I've got my own style for certain things. And it's just like, well, if I can bring my style in but make it look like this style or this style, that would be cool too. Because like I told him, I wanted it to look a little bit like a Barry Signswick meets Bernie Wrightson type of a feel, and it's kind of there, but it's still up in my style, and it's just like, uh, it's just very exciting to do. And like I said, once the paint starts hitting the canvas, it's game on at that point, because there's so many elements that I want to do, so many different things that I want to do with it. So it's going to be fun and exciting. And then I've got to get to working on Ken's piece, and then I've got to get these two pieces for sure, because that show's rolling up pretty quick, in about 3 weeks, I think. So I got to get these done pretty quick, pretty hot and heavy on that. But with that, I'm going to leave you guys to your day. I appreciate each and everybody stopping in here at 412 Productions. I am Monty Anderson, your host. And like I like to say as I check out of my own show, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.